Hi, I'm Donna from Social Media Blonde. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, my business partner Steph and my channel, because what we do is we're not only teaching online marketing, but at the moment we're building 3 different online marketing businesses, and we're sharing everything we're doing, our successes and our failures, through an online marketing diary that we put together. Once or twice a month we share that. Now, today I want to talk to you about what sort of metrics you should be expecting in your online marketing funnels. I know how frustrating it can be to put something together, to put many days and hours of work into something and then to launch it, and then just to not know what's working because we don't know what we should be expecting. Okay, so today I'm going to just take you through a simple value ladder and just tell you what sort of metrics you should be looking at each stage. So the first part of your value ladder is obviously your opt-in, when people are opting in to get something of value from you that's free or very cheap. But let's talk about free. Okay, so you're offering them a free PDF or a free training, or in my, like one of my businesses, a free fiction book that I've created. What sort of opt-in rate should we be getting? Well, you should be getting at least 20%, okay? 20% to 40% is really good. 40% is good. Anything over 40% is great, okay? So if you're getting less than 20%, then you need to look at 2 things. Either your offer, so basically your offer is not enticing enough to get them to give over their email, or your opt-in page isn't good enough. It's not letting them know what you're giving, and it's not making them sign up. Okay, so for instance, working with a client at the moment who we're offering something for free, and with our first 2 opt-in forms, both were not good, but we had heaps of people coming to them for Facebook ads, so I could see that through my tracking. But one of them was, we had a long form, so a really long form, and then a short form. And I thought the long form would outperform the short form. But the long form was only actually converting at about 3%, which is pretty sad. Whereas the short form was converting at about 12%. Okay, so still not great, but we know now that short, for what we were offering, was doing better than long, so we can scrap the long form, and now we can make a different type of short form and start split testing them against each other. So when you're split testing your opt-ins, make sure initially you test 2 totally different things against each other and see which is working better, and then you can zone in on that one type and then start making changes to that. Now remember, with your split testing, just always change one thing, okay, because you need to know what is working. So you might do 2 identically looking forms against each other, and then you might have the color different and the headline different, and then you won't know why one is performing better. Was it the color that was more attractive, or was it the headline that was better? So make sure you're only changing one thing at a time, and give it time for plenty of people to go through it to make sure that you know what is working and what isn't. Don't just give it a day or 2 people, okay? You need to have a solid number of people going through so that you can actually have a look at the metrics properly. Okay, so we want 20 to 40%. Now, obviously, the higher the perceived value, but also a warmer market, a market that already knows you, already likes you, already trusts you, you're going to convert higher as well. So for instance, I give away the first book in one of my series, and I also give away the second book in that series in that first book. So my first book, I mean, don't get me wrong, it still converts really well at around 50% for that, for the first opt-in for the first book, but the second one converts higher, closer to 90%. So you can see, because they've read my first book, they know they like it, they know they want it, and they can go get the second book. And so people who are coming into the second book are people who've bought the first book, and also people who've got that book for free. Okay, so then go give them the second one. So that higher the perceived value. So that's why you need to be putting yourself out there as an expert in blogs, on YouTube, on social media. So basically the machine that Steph and I are talking and teaching in Boomers, our online marketing mentorship, that whole system there is really what that's about, is 1, bringing people into your funnel, but 2, increasing your conversions within the funnel, because if people see you everywhere, people see what you're doing. If you're doing it properly, then you're going to get better conversions, opt-ins, and more sales coming through. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second rate is the first thing that you're selling. Now, believe it or not, you're only really expecting a 1 to 5% on this first sales page. So if you're not getting that, if people are opting in, and then they're coming to your order form, and you're not getting a 1 to 5% on that sales page, then you need to look at your order form. Okay, and once again, at what you're selling. Is it congruent with the opt-in? Okay, so you might have opted on one thing, and then it doesn't quite work with what the next thing is. So you need to be looking at a group of people coming in who have a need, and you need to be walking them along the pathway of that need and offering them things in progression of what they need. Okay, so you don't want to offer them something for free. You don't want to then try and sell the same thing to them, because that's not going to work, because they're going to be pretty pissed off if you try and sell it to them when they just got it for free. or 2, you're going to, then, well, why do I want that when I've already got it? Okay, so you need to think about what they might want and then what they want next and then what they want next. Okay, so if they're not converting 1 to 5%, then it might be what you're selling. Maybe you need to change the opt-in to make the next thing more desirable. And maybe your order form isn't working. There's something on the offensive on the order form. Maybe you need to add a video to the order form. Maybe you need to take the video out. Maybe you need a longer order form. Maybe you need a shorter order form. So obviously, the higher the expense of your item, maybe the longer form order form you need to try and convince people to buy from you. So these are all things you need to split test, okay? But once you get to that 1 to 5% rate, you know that you're doing right, and then you can just keep tweaking and trying to make it better, okay? Now, after that, on your sales page, you really want an order bump. So an order bump is that when you go into a page and then there's a little box that says, yes, I also want the free cheat sheet. The free cheat sheet. No, I'd like a treat sheet. No, the free cheat sheet. So that's an order bump, and this is the tip, because the thing is, if someone's already committed to buying, then they're more likely to buy the next thing. And that thing, once again, has to be congruent and it has to be different to what you are selling. So for instance, when I have people coming through my funnel, and they get the book, and then straight away I throw them into an offer for a box set. And so the box set they buy for the Cozy Mystery series, but then there's an order bump on that page offering them my entire fantasy trilogy for free. Now they may or may not like fantasy, but they've just bought Cozy Mystery series. They're more likely to buy that bump, and they do. Most people who come through and buy the first box set actually go ahead and buy the bump. So 20 to 40% of the people coming through of that 1 to 5% will go ahead and buy that bump. So it's kind of money for nothing, right? They're on the order form anyway, so you really want to make sure that you have an order bump to sell them. Okay. Now, after that, you're probably going to take them to the one thing that you actually really want to sell them anyway. So something that's higher in value, something that's a few $100s. Now, 3 to 10% of the people coming through the funnel are going to buy this. I know it sounds depressing, doesn't it? I'm going to look at some bigger figures in a moment. So you need to be making sure that of those people who came through, who bought the first thing, okay, so the little tripwire thing that you might have had that was $7, and then you take them to the one-time offer, the bigger object, 3 to 10% of them are buying that, okay? And once again, if they're not, it's because maybe what you haven't is congruent, they're not wanting it enough. Maybe you need to actually, if that is the one thing that you're selling, you need to look downstream again at your value ladder at these other 2 things and make sure that they're all pointing like big arrows towards this. You may need videos along the way to get them to know, like, and trust you better to add that value, okay? Now, so let's have a look at some figures. So just say we had 4,000 people coming into your funnel. If we had a 20% conversion, or 25% conversion, that's going to be 1,000 people opting in, okay? Now, of that 1,000 people who come in, you want at least 10 to 50 people to be buying that first little tripwire, that first small object that you've got, and then of them, 10 to 20% will buy the bump. And then from then, only 0.3 to 5, 10 to 20 people will buy the bump. From there, only 0.3 to 5 people, so obviously 1 to 5 people will buy your one-time offer. Now that's a bit depressing when you're thinking about you put 4,000 people in and then you're looking at a maximum of 5 people actually buying your offer. Which is why, knowing these metrics, you need to look at your advertising and things like that, which is why you really want as many organic people coming in, free leads coming into your funnel, which is where the machine comes into it that we teach. You want as many people coming in as possible, that you're not having to pay to come in. You want to make sure your ads are congruent, that the click rate is low, that you're targeting the right audiences, all these things to keep your costs down to bring people in so you're actually making money through the funnels. And then you want to make sure that you've got good email follow-up, okay? Because a lot of people don't actually make money in their funnel. They don't even have a break even. They make a loss on their initial funnel through that value ladder because people need to be shown something quite a few times before they will buy it. You also need to be putting scarcity into it and giving them value and marking it down, that one-time offer thing, to give them to give them that fear of missing out as well, okay, to try and increase their desire to buy. That needs to all be happening in the funnel, okay? But then you take them into an email series and you have like maybe a NES, which is a nurture, excite and sell series, where you might be trying to sell off the back end, okay? And then you probably want some even bigger, so you might be then offering more coaching, more one-on-one, things like that at the back end. With these people who are actually then coming through as customers, you want to be feeding them into separate email campaigns and email funnels to people who didn't buy, and really working with them because they're your ideal customers, okay? And have a look at who they are and what they are and go searching for more of them. And that's how it's going to work. So remember, we've got a split test, one thing at a time. But they're your metrics. So your metrics are 20% to 40% coming in the opt-in, and then it's 1 to 5% will buy, 20% to 40% will take that bump, and then of them only 3 to 10% of those that come through all of that are going to take the thing that you're actually probably really trying to sell them. Okay, so I hope those metrics have helped. Now, you probably heard me mention the machine in that. Underneath this video on YouTube, you're going to see a link that's going to take you to some free training I've put together about that machine, how it all works. So basically, I've taken all the different things I've learned from all the different gurus, I've put it together into how I see the online marketing ecosystem and all the cogs working together. And then I've done a series of just a free PDF talking to you about it, and then a series of free training videos, just 4 videos. They're all short. I don't want to overwhelm you. I know we're all time poor, but if you're on here and you're watching this, you're online marketing, you need to watch these videos, because maybe just giving you that 30,000 foot view of the forest that we're all stuck in is all you need to see to get going. So go get that link below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch Steph and I over the next year as we work together with these businesses and our successes and our failures, and you can learn from us and hopefully not make the same mistakes that we do. I'll see you in the next video.